The default mistake. Why backyards are moving beyond the chicken coop. Everyone who decides to turn their backyard or small acreage into a productive family homestead starts with the exact same animal. They buy chickens. It is the default answer to local food production, the absolute mascot of the modern self-sufficiency movement, and the animal that every backyard farming book tells you to buy on page 1. But popular does not always mean practical, and default definitely does not mean most profitable. While millions of people are spending thousands of dollars building elaborate chicken coops, buying tons of commercial grain, and dealing with local neighborhood complaints, a small group of smart micro-farmers are quietly bypassing chickens entirely. They are raising alternative animals that consume a fraction of the feed, produce food in half the time, bypass strict city laws, and generate double the profit per square foot. If you are looking to truly secure your family's food supply or build a genuine income from a small piece of land, it is time to stop looking at the standard poultry catalog and look at the livestock options that actually beat chickens at their own game.
To understand why the chicken might not be the king of the backyard, you have to look closely at the math. A standard egg-laying chicken eats about 1/4 pound of commercial feed every single day. She will consume that feed for 5 to 6 months before she ever drops her first egg. Once she finally starts laying, you have to compete with every other backyard grower at the local farmer's market, where a dozen farm-fresh eggs might bring you $4 or $5. Now, consider an alternative that is sitting in a cage no larger than a standard office filing cabinet. This animal eats exactly 1 ounce of feed a day. Instead of waiting 6 months, she starts laying high-quality eggs at just 6 weeks of age. Because her eggs are considered a specialty gourmet item, they routinely sell for $8 to $10 a dozen at those exact same markets. That animal is the Coturnix quail, and it is the single best example of how scaling down the size of your livestock can actually scale up your production and profit. The secret weapon of the quail is space efficiency and legal classification. You can comfortably house 15 to 20 quail in the exact same physical footprint required for a single traditional chicken coop. If you design your cages correctly, allowing 1 square foot per bird, a complete family egg operation can be run from a small corner of a suburban garage or a tool shed. No vast yard is required, and there are no early morning rooster crows to wake up the neighborhood. In fact, male quail make a soft, rhythmic trilling sound that most people mistake for a wild songbird. More importantly, under most major legal codes, quail are officially classified as game birds rather than domestic poultry. This means that even if your neighborhood association or city ordinances have strict bans against backyard chickens, they almost never have rules on the books concerning quail. You can produce hundreds of eggs a month in total silence without breaking a single local rule. If your primary goal is not eggs, but putting high-quality protein into your family freezer, chickens are an even bigger compromise. Broiler chickens require large outdoor runs, specialized processing equipment, and weeks of intense feeding. Rabbits, on the other hand, are the undisputed champions of small-scale meat production. A single breeding doe, managed on a standard and humane schedule of 5 litters per year, will produce over 100 pounds of clean, dressed meat annually. She accomplishes this while living in a hutch the size of a bedside table. If you keep just 2 does and 1 breeding buck, you can easily harvest up to 300 pounds of meat a year, which is enough to provide a family of 4 with multiple meat-based meals every single week. The efficiency of a rabbit operation comes down to their biological feed conversion ratio. It takes only 3 to 4 pounds of basic feed to produce 1 single pound of live weight on a rabbit. They beat out beef cattle, pigs, and almost all poultry in terms of raw efficiency, and they do it without needing open pastures or a barn. Furthermore, the legal environment for selling rabbit meat is uniquely favorable for small producers. Under federal agricultural guidelines, rabbits are categorized as a non-amenable species. This means they are exempt from the mandatory, expensive inspections that slow down commercial beef or pork operations. In most areas, you can process your animals directly on your property and sell the meat straight to local consumers or high-end chefs who pay premium prices for heritage breeds. As an added bonus, rabbit manure is a cold fertilizer. Unlike hot chicken manure, which will scorch and kill your vegetables if applied directly, rabbit pellets can be thrown straight onto a garden bed without any composting, creating a secondary income stream from gardeners looking for organic nutrients.
For the property owner who wants production without a daily time commitment, bees offer an income stream that functions almost entirely on autopilot. Chickens and rabbits require you to physically show up every morning and evening to check waterers, clean cages, and distribute feed. A healthy beehive requires only a brief 30-minute inspection once every 2 to 3 weeks during the active season. The rest of the time, the insects are flying across a 3-mile radius around your property, harvesting resources from nature and turning them into profit without costing you a single penny in daily feed bills. A strong, well-managed colony can easily produce 50 pounds of surplus honey in a normal year. While grocery store honey is inexpensive, raw, unfiltered local honey easily commands top dollar at local markets. The real profit in apiculture, however, is not the honey. It is the production of new colonies. By learning how to split a strong hive in the spring, you can create nucleus colonies to sell to new beekeepers for significant profit before you even harvest your first honey crop. If you love the idea of backyard poultry but hate the fragility of chickens, the duck is the ultimate replacement. Many people assume ducks are too messy or require a large farm pond, but the reality is much simpler. A duck only requires enough deep water to submerge its head to clean its eyes and nostrils, which can be provided by a simple heavy-duty rubber dish. In exchange for that basic setup, a breed like the Khaki Campbell will lay between 250 and 340 eggs a year, easily beating out the world's best chicken breeds. Duck eggs carry a higher fat and protein content, making them highly sought after by local bakers who want fluffier pastries and richer cakes. Ducks are also incredibly tough. They do not suffer from the winter frostbite that ruins chicken combs, and they are largely immune to the common respiratory diseases that wipe out chicken flocks in wet, muddy climates. They will patrol your garden rows, eating every slug, tick, and beetle larvae they can find, all while fertilizing the soil without scratching up the root systems of your plants the way chickens do. The ultimate lesson of alternative microfarming is focus. The temptation when looking at all these incredible options is to try and buy 3 or 4 different species all at once. This is the fastest way to become exhausted, overwhelmed, and broke. True success on a small piece of land comes from picking exactly one animal that fits your specific space, your local climate, and your financial goals, and dedicating 1 full year to mastering it. Spend 12 months learning the exact rhythms, health signs, and market demands of that single species. Once you build a solid foundation of real knowledge, you can stop guessing and start producing food and income with absolute confidence.